Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Good morning, good morning. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm so glad you're joining me this morning. We found our new time here at 7 a.m. Mountain Time, and I'm so glad that you have found us. It's a beautiful day so far in northern Colorado. A little bit cold. Winter is definitely upon us. I've got a great show for you today. I want to talk a little bit about the culture control that's going on. There's always, different stories being pumped out. And I'm always, like I said, I'm just an observer, right? I'm just kind of watching this thing unfold because what can you do at this point? I'm just kind of watching it and I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. One of the big problems I think we have had over the last few decades is this idolization of celebrities and of fame. And I think probably social media has, really contributed to that strange culture. And yesterday we talked a little bit about it, just about, are you sure you really want that life? Like, are you sure that is what, because it appears to be one way on the outside, but when one pulls back the curtain, it's actually something totally different. And I think if more people realize that, maybe we would be spending our time on, more important, valuable things in our life than, being voyeurs of these people who have these so-called glamorous lives that are really, when you dig beneath it, quite empty and controlled. And I saw a little something of this. I don't know if you're following all of Candace Owens stuff, but I am. I'm following, and I don't know where it's going. I'm just kind of objectively watching it and saying, wow, that's interesting. But her latest episode is quite interesting. I'm like, I'm kind of like watching like this, you guys, like, because like I already know where all roads lead back to, and probably you do too, right? There's most of the people that are behind like this globalist, I'll just say it, evil agenda that are playing at the top of the game here. We don't really know who they are. And I've always kind of said, listen, if you know who they are and they're running defense in the narrative, they're not the people. They're not the ones in real power here. Those are the faces we see. Those are the people that are being employed by the people who really run the world. And of course, the people who really run the world are the people who are in charge of energy. We're talking about oil money, old money, right? Rockefeller money, these types of names that you're somewhat familiar with. And Candace is getting into the territory here with her latest episode where she's talking about, some names, and one of them being DuPont. And that's a very old name, very powerful company, produces a lot of products that many people don't even know they produce. And some of those products may or may not be quite, have an impact, let's say, on your health. Anyway, she's getting into the real weeds here. And I'm just like, I don't know if she knows how dangerous a game that she's in. I think she probably does. But wow, I'm just kind of stunned. That, she's unraveling this piece by piece. And so I'm praying for her. Praying for protection for her. But there was one thing that I wanted to point out here that I thought was really, really interesting, because she's being attacked over and over again. She's attacked online, attacked on social media. And the latest attack was that she doesn't have any friends. And I'm just like, excuse me, what? Come again? Like, what? Like, it's interesting because that's kind of the culture that's been created through like social media influencing, right? Like the most popular guy wins. Same with politics now. It's like the most, popular guy, the guy that everybody loves most, the most, like that's the guy that's going to win now. We've even had people drop, ideas like The Rock should run for president, or like Kim Kardashian should run for president. Like, what are we doing here? What exactly are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, just because somebody's popular doesn't mean they're qualified, right? I think so. You know what I'm saying? But again, this is, I guess, why it's so easy to identify how far away we have gotten from a merit-based society. So, one of the biggest disses that you can say about somebody is, you don't have any friends. No, but listen, it's not that you don't have any friends. It's that you don't have any famous friends. Check this clip out. This is Candace on her latest episode.
People in Hollywood, if you just look the other way when children are being abused, this is that mentality, okay? It's disgusting, it's gross, but more importantly, it is insecure. So I want to remind you guys that your real friends do not need to be famous, okay? My best friends are not famous, and you should be close with your family. You should have real value in your life. Part of the matrix requires you to have this sort of instinct to think celebrities are cool and that they glitter and they're golden. The majority of them are pretty effed up and drunk. That's the reality. No, and by the way, on the subject of who the kind of people that he's referring to, it was notoriously Eric Bolling that sat across from Adam when they attacked me over Charlie Kirk and lied and said that I hadn't been friends with Charlie Kirk since 2017. After that episode, Eric Bolling sent me an email and apologized and said it was Adam's fault, and he didn't even know Adam's name. I think he called him Sam in the email. I should actually pull it and I'll post it on Instagram. Didn't even know, threw Adam and PBD's entire team under the bus in 3 seconds and said, I just want to apologize with you, Candace, because that's how politics work. They all stab each other in the back, and they all do it because they think they're on the pursuit of like fame and riches. We are not going to save the West in general from the absolute sexual deviants that run it, the liars and the crooks that run the West, if we have the attitude that we need to be well liked by famous people who are all drunk. Truly, they're all just a bunch of drunk.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I just love that she said that, because that's what I've been saying. We aren't going to save our country. We aren't going to save the West by being shamed into thinking you're not cool enough to have an opinion. You don't have enough influencers to have an opinion. Oh, what do you know? You don't have any X followers. That's, so people get bullied, I guess. I mean, that's just so bizarre. Like, are we in middle school here? Like, it's just so bizarre. And I can speak on this because I've been in this situation before. Where people have judged me by the amount of followers that I have on social media. Like, how many followers do you have? Yeah, I'd like to interview you. I think what you're talking about is very interesting. And I love what you're talking about. I think I really would love to bring that message to my audience. Well, how many followers do you have? How many downloads do you have? Who have you spoken to? Who are you associated with? Well, I'll have to check your Twitter account before. You know what? Never mind. If you have to check my Twitter account before you say yes to an interview with me, I don't want you. I don't want you. If you have to say, how much are you going to pay me? Are you going to give me this? Are you going to give me that? And, you'll have to do this and you'll have to have that. I don't want you. So, yeah, I am sick of it. Some of us got kicked off of social media. Some of us don't care about social media. And yet somehow this has become our worth in the marketplace. It's gross. Okay. And this guy that attacked Candace, his name is Adam, and he's from the PBD podcast. And, he basically went on a rant, and I'll play you the video after the break here, because I think we're going to go to break here in just a minute, where he just reveals the true colors here, Yeah, your net worth is your network, right? That's the theory I hear a lot. Your net worth is your network is the same as your whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? Your network equals your net worth. That's what I'm saying. And I'm here to tell you, like, these people, you may think they're in your network or whatever. They're not your friends. They're not your friends, as Candace pointed out right there, right? Like, how many famous people do you know and do they support you? They will sell you down the river in a second flat. No word of a lie. And even in, movements that are like appear to be good-natured, like, oh, the Maha movement or whatever, this is great. Make America healthy again. Yeah, I'm all about make America healthy again. But Even that went sideways, because it's all about, I should be headlining the stage. And how many followers do you have on Twitter? And I'm, I'm going to speak at your event, but actually I'm not, because I've got something better to do. So I pull out 3 days ahead, which happened to us. Give me my money and see you later. That there's no friendship even. I don't even expect friendship like it's business, but there isn't even a respectful business relationship culture anymore. It's all about, what can I get from you? What can you do for me? And the minute you don't do something for me, well, then I'll smear you. And that's exactly what Candace is talking about. We'll be back in just a minute. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I hope you're having a great morning. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Hey, listen, I'm just the voice of reason here, trying to point out, our kids, they get swept up in the social media stuff. And I think people can get caught up in the whole stardom of things. And what I'm here saying is that, you're better. You're better. And I think we've got to, dispel this error of people that have fame and money are just and I'm not saying all, I'm sure there's some wonderful famous people that are actually, good people, and they usually move away. They move away from the consolidated areas of where all the famous people interact and all the, connected people interact. They usually they get out of there, man. They get out of Dodge because it's kind of ugly there. And so here we have a lot of people that are really thinking that this is the dream that I want to come true, when in reality, there's a price to that you probably don't want to pay. And the consequences, if you do pay the price, they might not be even anything you ever wanted. And so it's just funny to me, these guys, they're just cutthroat. They're out there just thinking, they're making all these relationships and money. But really, it's just so gross. It's just so shallow and cutthroat. And who wants to aspire to that? So this Adam guy attacks Candace because right now all the cool people are against Candace, right? She's crazy. She's nuts. I mean, just listen to what he says here. It's just gross.
So then she goes to war against Turning Point USA. Then she literally starts questioning the integrity of Erica Kirk. I'm sorry. This is the exact opposite of how a friend operates. That to me is the most disgusting thing. Forget about what she said about Israel and Jews and BLM and liberals. This is friendship stuff. The most valuable currency you have are the relationships you have, your friends. In my opinion, she's burned every bridge she's ever been associated with. whether that's Turning Point USA, whether that's the Daily Wire, whether that's PragerU, Charlie Kirk, Steven Crowder. I don't know what's going on even in this room, but it's not like we're loving what she's doing these days. I'm asking you a serious question. Who are her friends at this point?
Well,
to me,
do
she's
think
very
has
lonely.
friends. No, I think she's very close with Tucker. I do think she has a group
How many
of
more
friends.
can you name, though? Because she's losing people like Tim Pool. She's losing people like Steven Crowder, who's calling her out. He called her a evil "see you next Tuesday."
I don't think he
But
and
I'm
her
saying
were
these are
together.
all people in the
no,
same
the Crowder thing.
world.
You have to isolate each one of these. We can't just say something like
Other
that
than
because
Tucker, who's defending
Crowder
Candace?
and her had an issue after Crowder and his wife went through the divorce, and there were rumors created about Crowder that never ended up coming true, and they threw Crowder under the bus. And so there's been a rift between them with that $50 million contract that he publicly talked about
seems like
on video. I don't know
right,
if you guys
sir,
remember that.
You're
Yeah.
right. There seems like there's a rift with every single person that she interacts with, other than Tucker.
Yeah.
Genuine question. I'm not trying to throw her under the bus. Who's Candace's friends? Who are her allies? Can we name a name? Anyone?
Oh,
Anyone?
She's got more than you would believe.
Name a name.
No, she's got a lot of them.
I'm sure that there's
She does.
Twitter army out there.
Yeah,
but what famous names advocates are saying, I'm with Candace?
Yeah, guys. I mean, I'm sure she has you little Twitter followers out there. Just 8 million of you. 5 million of you. I think it's what 2.5 to 5 million. When I last time looked at her videos, like she's got millions of real human beings that are commenting and interested and supportive and praying for her. And I just like, I don't understand this. Let her do her job. Let her do her thing. Let her do her work. Why are you commenting on it in such a negative way? I don't understand the motivation here. You know what? If people are disinterested, they won't watch. They won't listen. So when you attack her like this, and like, you know, excuse me, but like I saw like, you know, I don't know. Tim Pool's not for me. You know, I saw some of the stuff that they've been doing lately, and it feels very scripted. And I don't know if it is, but it sounds scripted to me. It just doesn't sound off the cuff anymore. And so it's not my jam, but I'm not going to sit here and like tear apart everything that Tim Pool says and get other people to hate him. And so I think it makes me question, like, why are you doing, like, why is that part of your show that you're tearing down Candace? Like, I just don't get it, because like my opinion at this point is, wow, she's getting into like the really deep, dark mechanisms of how the world really works. And I would say to you, if you don't know, maybe you don't want to watch, because sometimes I wish I didn't know. You know, it's dark. It's very dark. And it goes deep, and man, if she keeps going, you know, she's going to get into some territory that is just not going to be able to be explained without, you know, revealing things. And so anyway, I'm praying for her, and I hope you will too. And after all, she is, you know, really trying to get to, and I think, you know, it's interesting as well because she's actually grieving, and you can see it. You know, you can really feel her grief for one of her best friends. And I think that's the difference between someone like Candace had a real relationship with Charlie Kirk. They spent a lot of time together. They came up in a way, you know, where they were traveling the country together very closely and stuff. Like they definitely had this like sister brother bond. And I don't know, you know, who this guy is to judge that. I think it's just, it makes me think like, what are you after here? And then you take a look at this guy's, you know, I've seen this guy on PBD before, and he did not impress me because of his behavior. So at one hand, he's calling Candace out, telling her, you know, who is she even friends with? Like, does she have any friends? That kind of thing. Look at the way this guy has behaved in the past, because this is what I haven't watched an episode of PBD since I saw this. Listen to this. This is the way this guy conducts himself Talk about burning bridges. Listen.
I'm not sure what you're doing. I'm asking you genuine questions.
And C, I can't help but feel you're kind of angry, but I don't know why.
Maybe I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. Maybe I had a British girlfriend that you remind me of. I don't know. However,
that's actually a true story.
Yeah.
And by the way, can we get him some Snickers bar or something?
I'm okay.
I know that's a true story.
Yeah.
I know that's a true story.
Katie,
I feel that.
Katie, here's what I genuinely believe.
Her.
Here's what I genuinely believe.
I'm not your old
I don't
girlfriend.
believe me. I date a lot hotter chicks than you. But here's what I definitely believe. You actually are a person that knows what they're doing. You're not an idiot. You've been confronted before. You confront a lot of people. You anti-liberalist, anti-multicultural, anti-fat, anti-immigrant, anti-tattoos. Sorry to inform you, Vinny. She doesn't like you. You have tattoos. Okay. So listen, Katie, your Cry Me a River.
She has a tattoo on her.
Okay, there it is. Katie.
She has a tattoo on her bum.
Katie, I've taken a lot of heat before. I can take it. Are you saying that you can't take heat, Katie? You take heat all the time. You give heat.
There's just a lot of noise coming off you. I stopped listening.
Katie, I hear a lot of noise. You just sound a little more proper than me, Katie. But we're all just talking noise here.
You're making a bit of a thing of yourself, sweetie. Just
Now, the full episode of that, the full segment with Katie Hopkins there. Of course, Katie Hopkins is a comedian, and love her or hate her, I have a lot of respect for her because it's not easy to speak out. And in the way that she has spoken out, she has been targeted through her government. They've attacked her. They've tried to bankrupt her. They have, even caused problems with her children, whether her children should be in her. I mean, it's just been horrific for her. But she continues to speak out and be an advocate of free speech. And, she's all about pro-freedom. She loves America. So this was just like he just completely unleashed on her. And, it's just, that's a prime example, So like, oh, you don't know any famous people yet. This is how these people treat each other. Do you want friends like this? Because I don't. They're not friends. This is not friendship. This is cutthroat business, politics, eat you alive. Give me what I need and I will throw you away. And listen, it's happening everywhere. I mean, look at what Trump's done to MTG. It's our culture in politics in this area. And it's gross. And the power lies within the people, of course. But we perpetuate this type of behavior because we play our role in it. We play our role in it. We're the ones that are like, oh, they're so great. Oh, I went and saw their movie. Oh, I just love them. Oh, he's going to save us. Oh, she's great. She's you're better. You're better. You know why? Because you're real. You don't try to put on airs. You don't have some kind of strange motivation. You're always trying to get something from somebody. And then when you do get it, you throw them away. But yet, it's just so kind of frustrating that people don't understand their own power, that they don't really settle into their role of the people and the fabric of the country that shape culture. This guy, how insulting is that? Oh, I'm sure she has her little Twitter followers or whatever. Like we don't matter. Like 8 million Twitter followers don't matter because who famous? So you're telling me like if she had 5 famous friends that were, pining for her, cheering her on, then it would be much better than the 8 million. That's the mindset here. And it only continues on when we play our role in it. So let's stop playing our role and let's lift each other up and stop paying attention to these people. Because they really don't make up the culture of our country. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Welcome back. We got all kinds of very cool protocols ready for you. Lack energy, have inflammation, need to lose weight, whatever it is that you have as a health trial right now, you can find a protocol at naturallyinspiredstore.com. So head on over there today. We want to welcome you into the Naturally Inspired community, and all you need to do is make a purchase, and we welcome you right in, naturallyinspiredstore.com. Okay, I want to talk about this other part that I know Candace is like, oh, I know it's coming. I know she's going to tackle the topic because she's already kind of alluded to it, and I find it very interesting. Doesn't it sometimes you just think like, oh my gosh, like how much more can I take here? Like how much more of an awakening can we go through here? I feel you. And I understand because it feels like what institution is not corrupt? Can you name one? I feel like I've been saying this a lot lately, but I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody's got a racket. Everybody's got a racket and everybody's kind of playing the game, and you just see it everywhere. Like I just described with, this type of politics and whatnot, it's everybody's playing their game and it's all about their advancement and how they can get what they want and all of that. And then on the surface, there's this facade that it's like I'm championing people championing for the people of the country. I love this country. And yet also like, the behavior's just kind of gross. So there's a topic that Candace has kind of skimmed over a couple of times and mentioned here. And I just know this is going to be very upsetting for people. And so I just want to prep you for a little bit because at the same time, Sean Ryan had somebody on his podcast, and I'm not through the podcast yet. And so I'll be probably covering it tomorrow. But this guy's name is Nathan Apfel, and he's a documentary maker, and he follows the dark world of like mega churches and churches. And I know that can be a sensitive topic, but there's a lot there that people need to discover. Churches are businesses, and they are big businesses. And let me just start with this little fact, in this podcast I started listening to, I wasn't actually aware of this. I was aware that, there was some shenanigans going on. I mean, I've said this. I said this a couple of weeks ago, right? Like Jason and I always kind of joke because we everywhere you go, there's like a new beautiful church being built. And you're like, wow, like how do they fund that? How do they fund that? These are huge constructions, and costs a lot of money. The playground, like everything that goes into it, it's just kind of mind blowing. A lot of them have coffee shops in them now. They sell merch. Like they have these fantastic sound stages, and you just got to kind of wonder, like, How is that being funded? You know, like people I know, you know, a lot of people I know, they aren't even really consistent with going to their church, you know? And so I don't know if they're tithing all their tithes or whatever, but it just seems like to me, there's gotta be more money pouring in there. And you know me, I'm just kind of, you know, that way. I'm always questioning stuff, right? But this guy happened to mention, and I thought this is very interesting. You know, churches really like they value that nonprofit designation, and it's everything to them, right? They didn't want to risk it during COVID, right? And I think that's where I got like, honestly, I've never been to a church that suited me, that I felt like I was getting. Having spiritual moments in and like getting closer to my personal relationship with God. Just me personally, I've not ever experienced that. I've been to a few churches here and there. It's just not for me. Like I feel more connected to God in my pasture by my cows. It's just me. Judge me all you want. I don't know what else to say. It's just, that's just where I am. You know, and so it's not that I have any beef with churches, but I just have this kind of like natural distrust of them. And the reason being is because there just feels like there's a money thing going on, you know? And I think Candace is getting a little closer to that. She's mentioned some things. And this guy now, it's interesting, the timing of this guy who's on the Sean Ryan podcast and has a series about mega churches, Nathan Apfel, he revealed on this podcast that actually the IRS did not create the tax-exempt loophole or structure, rather, for churches, but the CIA did. And you think, well, why would the CIA be creating like tax law? Well, because control, people. You know, religion is a weapon. It can be used as a weapon of control. It's a way to funnel people into groups and box them in. And when you put a nonprofit designation on top of something, it gives the government access. What's exactly going on in here? And there's these 14 tenets that have to be kind of followed in order to get the nonprofit designation. And yeah, so like, you know, he's talking about these pastors that have, you know, 4 jets and $28 million mansions, and, you know, the whole congregation, you know, is giving to this, and many of them don't even know that the congregation is actually paying for a lot of the mortgages and a lot of these things. Not only that, but he starts to go into the LDS church, where, you know, who knew that they had like $1 billion invested and that they were the second largest landowner in America, the LDS church. And I guess, like, listen, this is exactly why I say what I say. There's gangsters in every group. There's gangsters in every group. There's corporate gangsters. There is religious gangsters. There is, you know, actual like mafia gangsters. We got the cartel. Those guys are gangsters. You see what I'm saying here? There's political gangsters. Like, it has nothing to do with your race, creed, or religion. People are, you know, when there's a racket to be, created, unfortunately, we have, you know, people that will take advantage of that. And nothing is exempt. Nothing is exempt. And, you know, the church, so I just want to say, you know, prepare, because I can feel this coming. There's the new story, the new stuff that everyone's going to be like, what? I think that Candace will probably be the one that pulls the thread on this. How much corruption is actually in the Christian church. And then there's going to be a lot of uproar about the Christian church, right? And maybe rightfully so, but really bad timing, right? Because we're being invaded by Muslims right now. And so we're going to, the Christian church is all a bunch of ripoffs. And, you see what I'm saying here? You see where this is going? So like, yes, true. I know that stuff is going on. And, but it doesn't, like, the church is in us. We are the church. Right. And so that's why it's so important that we kind of like remove ourselves from the fake culture and really start to connect with our citizenry. Like, who cares? Left, right, religion, who cares about, like, this is why I hate groups. This is why I hate groups, because there's always people that infiltrate something that maybe even started good, but it somehow ends up being hijacked, right? Like, look at Turning Point USA. Do I think that Charlie Kirk was a corrupt guy? I don't. I don't see that. I don't feel like that's the case. But his organization got so big, he didn't even know where the money was coming from. He didn't know where the money was coming from, so he actually asked for an audit of his own operation so he could start figuring out where the money was coming from, because he was getting so much pressure from his donors to say this, don't do that. Like, and he wanted to know, listen, how much of my money is coming from these people? Like, how much do I have to listen to them? How can I not be under their thumb? I think that's why he was asking for the audit. But see, that's the perfect example. These huge operations, they get out of hand. And I think churches are no different. That maybe somewhere along the line, somebody started the church with the real authentic purpose to spread the word and stuff. But let me tell you, when you get into about a $28 million mansion, 4 jets on a runway, and you're just, telling the people to keep giving the money, give us the money, give us the money. I mean, it's not a good look, There was a story not that long ago, and I can't remember where it came out of, but it was like one of these other mega pastors that, somebody found $5 million in their wall of the church hidden. You know what I'm saying? Like, and listen, it's not just the mega churches. It's not just the mega churches. This is, in this podcast, the guy says, if you're a good businessman, what you want to do is start a church, because the tax shelters are just incredible. And that doesn't feel very good. And I know a lot of people are not going to like that. But let me tell you, this is truly the Great Awakening, ain't it? Like, people are like, woo! Like I said, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay, because us together, that's what it's about. Stay tuned, everybody. Your Naturally Inspired Moment is up next. We'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Did you know that most people never get to the root cause of their fatigue, their weight gain, or their inflammation because they're chasing symptoms instead of restoring balance? Laura from Colorado said this: I was tired of quick fixes that never lasted. Tammy helped me see what my body was really asking for. With her plan, I regained my energy, improved my digestion, and I finally feel in control of my health. You can too. You can get involved in the Naturally Inspired community. So many people are doing it and getting fantastic results. Try it today. Get a 90-day plan with me. Get priority access to my text line, VIP access to our weekly wellness workshop, and schedule your free health and lifestyle assessment with me. It's not a bot. It's not a call. It's truly me. You just got to go to naturallyinspiredstore.com/assessment, or you can just go straight to naturallyinspiredstore.com. There's a big old button there that says book your assessment. Spend a little bit of time with me. I love listening to your stories. I love getting down to the kind of the detective work of where your root cause is. So if that sounds like something that you can relate to and think you need, just go to naturallyinspiredstore.com or text me 720-303-8868. Okay. Naturally Inspired moment. Let's get to it. Because I saw this really cool little video and it inspired me to look up one of my favorite quotes. And this one is from Earl Nightingale. He said this: you're not born talented. And I think that is something, that's a belief that people hold. They think that, and this relates to exactly what we were just talking to about this kind of worship of celebrity or worship of now what we call influencers. Like they had something that we did not have. And so it reminded me of this quote. So he said, you're not born talented. You become talented by practice. So we often look at others who are successful, calm, strong, disciplined, or confident and think that they were just born that way. Oh, that's just how that person is. Earl Nightingale said that talent isn't a gift, but a habit. Talent is a habit. It's repetition. It's intention. It's becoming on purpose through practice. So he taught a powerful exercise, and I wanted to share that with you today. So practice this. Get a clear image of the person that you want to be and visit that image every day. You know, it's not about mansions and riches, and I'm not talking about that kind of image. I mean, if that's your deepest desire for success, then, have at it. I'm not discouraging you from that, but it can be just, somebody who responds, with thoughtfulness. It can be somebody that is cool, calm, and collected in all of the most, craziest, chaotic situations. That can be the type of person that is success, that looks like success to you. It's somebody maybe that has mastered their nervous system, right? That they don't have to pull back from things that they want to do because they don't have the confidence, or they don't feel like they've mastered their physiology to be able to do it. Maybe that's the type of person that you're striving to be. And let me tell you, that doesn't come without practice. Nobody's born with that. It's accumulated over time. So he taught this exercise. You get a clear image of the person that you want to be, and you visit that image every day. So you ask yourself, how does that version of me, that person, how do they think? What choices do they make in certain situations? How would they speak, respond, or show up throughout the day? Then when you get a really clear image of that person, maybe they've achieved, optimum health, they're feeling great, they follow through on their commitments to themselves, all of those things. I want you to get really specific about this person. And then you start acting as if you're already that person. You're already the person that shows up for their commitment to themselves and their health. And it's not just a one-time thing. You can't just do it when you feel motivated to do it. You've got to do it every day. And the more you practice that, the closer you get to that outcome. So if you're fighting your way through a challenge right now, this is such a great practice to think about what you feel like if you've let go of the guilt. If you have guilt for the situation, that your circumstances that you're in right now, maybe your health's not where you want it to be and you're carrying guilt about that. Or maybe, you didn't make the right choices with certain relationships and you're experiencing guilt. You feel guilty about that. I want you to imagine yourself without those feelings. Just like, what does that person feel like without this guilt? Who are you without these thoughts that you're beating yourself up with every day? Visit that and do it daily and do it consistently. How does somebody act when they are confident, when they are graceful, when they can give space and hold space in chaotic situations? They can be the calm in the storm. What does that feel like in your body? And over time, your actions actually catch up with that vision of yourself. So your behaviors become your identity. And I know it's like, well, if you're acting, then that's not really you. Like, that's fake. That's imposter system. No, it's not. It means you're new at it. It doesn't mean you're faking it. It doesn't mean you're an imposter. It means you're new, that you've been thoughtful enough to decide these are the characteristics I want to model in my life, but I have to practice them to get good at it, because everybody has to practice. So transformation isn't magic. It is repetition. Over and over again. It's the practicing who you are becoming until it becomes natural. And then guess what happens? There's a whole nother skill set that you want to get to that you don't have. And you keep elevating from there, because life is all growth. It's all growth. And if you stop growing, then you might not be living. So today, take one step as the version of you that you are building. Not perfect, right? You don't have to be perfect, but be intentional. Who are you with confidence? Who are you with no guilt? Who are you with no grief that you're holding on to? Who are you in your well body? Feel it and be it today. Give yourself grace, because you need practice. But the first step is trying to step into that person. So because the life you want isn't waiting on your potential, it's actually waiting on your patience and your practice. Here are 5 strategies to practice becoming the person you want to be. 1, create a clear identity statement. So write a sentence that describes the future in present tense. I am someone who prioritizes my health, speaks kindly to myself. I'm a person who follows through. Say it daily. Identity leads behavior. It's not the other way around. It's not the behavior leading your identity. You declare who you are, and that will lead your behavior. Make micro commitments, not big promises. So don't try to overhaul everything overnight, right? Choose one small action the future you would do. So drink the water, take the walk, do the workout, eat the protein, say the prayer, and repeat it until it becomes natural. Number 3, act before you feel like it. So your feelings may argue for comfort or old patterns. Oh boy, will they. But practice showing up anyway, because consistency trains the brain to see the new identity as your normal. So it's very important. You got to push through. Don't let your feelings control your actions. Okay? Because they will, but here's the good news. Your actions will impact your feelings. So even when you don't feel like it, you don't feel like going to do the workout, you don't feel like following through on your meals and what you have planned, if you can push through your feelings of not wanting to and you do it, the feelings are so much better afterwards, right? There's a payoff there on the other side of pushing through the not wanting to you feel fulfilled, you feel proud, you feel accomplished. And those are 10 times better feelings than that, I don't really want to do that. So act before you feel like it. 4, rehearse responses. So ask yourself, how would my future self handle this? What's my ideal way of handling this situation? And because if you do a little kind of role play ahead of time, you'll be more equipped to respond in the way that you want to. Because stress, temptation, opportunity, it can put you on the spot if you haven't prepared yourself. So rehearse mentally first and then respond. This builds emotional and also a behavioral muscle. 5, track evidence of progress. This is so important. So important. We get so tied up in what we don't have right now that we can't reflect on the work and the progress that we've already put in. We're always kind of like focused on what we don't have in the moment right now. And if you look back and you can see where you came from and you can generate some feelings of progress and gratitude for progress, that may just be the momentum that you need to keep going that day. It may just bring you back into a space of gratitude and, a more positive mindset to be able to push you through for what you need to do that day. So it's important to track your evidence of progress. Every time you act like the person you're becoming, write it down, because patterns become visible. Momentum builds, and your brain, because this is what we're doing here, changing habits, we're retraining the brain. We're building new neural pathways. So your brain begins to believe, this is who I am. This is really who I am now. So becoming anything is a process. It's not a personality lottery. Nobody won the lottery in personality. It's becoming, and that's a process. Practice shapes identity. Identity shapes destiny. Stay tuned for hour 2, everybody. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. This is hour 2 of your Naturally Inspired Radio program. I'm so glad you're joining me. I love this morning hour. I get to meet with you in the morning, set you up for success for the day. I know some of the stuff we talk about is a little crazy, but don't forget, like, we truly are the ones in control. We have the opportunity to shape culture. And, you know, by pointing out some of the craziness of the culture, you know, as a Gen Xer, I'm like, man, how did this happen? You know, how did this happen? This, like, you know, when we were growing up, we had these celebrities and heartthrobs and all that stuff. And, you know, we thought, oh, you know, that, like, you know, you had this kind of like childlike star fandom type of thing. But then, like, you get a little bit older and it kind of all like, oh, you know, they're cool or whatever. But it's not this like, you know, measurement like we have nowadays on social media. Like, it's a very tangible measurement. If somebody has millions of followers, it's like, oh, they have millions of followers. Like, who are they? But like, again, a meritless society that we're living in here, because, you know, somebody who does like just atrocious things has millions of followers, you know, like, I'm talking like, you know, even like jackass type of things, you know, like just crazy stuff, running and jumping off of things. And, just like there's not a lot of like substantive, like quality, values being shared there, obviously. In fact, it's like the opposite. It's like, it seems like the trashier people are, the more outlandish they are, the lack of substance they have, well, the more followers they have. And it's up to us to shape our culture. And so we've allowed this to happen. We've allowed this culture to take root and brew and grow and flourish. But I do think it's changing. I do think people are being exposed for who they truly are. You get a look behind the scenes and you're like, wow, this person didn't rise to the levels of influence naturally. This wasn't organic. And if it was, then since they've been likely, negotiated into deals where they say certain things and promote certain stuff because of they're getting paid by a certain agenda. And so once you see behind that, it's, I don't see how it can continue on. And I think that more and more people are seeing that for what it is. So that's the good news. So we've been kind of talking about that, but I do want to move to one of my favorite parts of the show now, which is our American moment, because people have been telling you, paid influencers have been telling you that you should hate your country's good for nothing, and you don't even have any culture here in this country. I bring a little focus to remind you that you absolutely do have culture. It's actually known all over the world. Your culture is. And that's why so many people want to come here, because it's known everywhere. And it's unlike anywhere else. And it isn't because of our politicians. And it isn't because of our influencers. And it isn't because of the celebrities. It isn't. Because most people realize not everybody can be a celebrity, right? Not everybody can be an influencer. Not everybody can be that. But in this culture, in the United States of America, we have a cultural trait of optimism. And it's in the fabric of our culture of being American is to be optimistic. And it's also tied to personal agency, meaning, optimism, but you can do it. You can do it. And the belief that you can change your circumstances, reinvent yourself, write a new chapter, no matter where you start. Other nations may value optimism or perseverance, but the American expression of optimism is culturally a default setting here. It's like, that's the way it is here. Things can get better, and I can be the one to make them better. It's woven into our language. Dream big, start over, go for it, make it happen. It's why the U.S. became known as the land of second chances, where someone can go bankrupt. They can change industries. They can move across the country to a different state. They can start a business from their garage or build a whole new identity. That's why people want to come here. So when these people are telling you you don't have any culture, you don't have any culture. It's about it's just a bunch of immigrants. No. Because you see, the immigrants are leaving their country to come here because this is the culture here. You can do anything. Self-agency. And then when I saw this, as I was researching this topic for today's show, it dawned on me why there has been such a push for victim culture. Right? We talk about it all the time. It's like the victim Olympics. Like everybody's got to have some kind of special little thing about them that, well, this is why my trauma is worse than your trauma. And, victim, right? It's the victim Olympics. Of course they targeted this in America. they targeted this messaging in America because if you haven't noticed, America's under attack. Why? Why is it under attack? Well, let me tell you, because there is a global movement called the Great Reset, called the Digital Revolution, whatever you want to call it, right? They're changing things. They want to change things. And it's going to be much more of a global world where there are no borders, But there's a heck of a lot more control, a heck of a lot more of digital surveillance, right? But that's what this group is working towards, is more of a global thing. And so, of course, they needed to launch this campaign in America to victimize everybody. Oh, you've been treated badly because of your skin color. You're a victim. Oh, you're treated badly because of your gender. You're a victim. Oh, you're treated badly because... And then they had to start inventing categories for people to feel victimized in. Because if you didn't fit into a victimized category, well, then we'll make one up for you. Not a woman? That's okay. You're victimized because, you're a, whatever, redheaded man. You know what I mean? Like, you're a cat. People don't recognize you for your furriness. Whatever it is, like, they seem to be creating categories for people to identify with being a victim for. And it makes perfect sense because optimism, perseverance, self-agency, it's woven into the fabric of America. It's who you are. And so it's important that we recognize this because we got to bring it back. How do we bring it back? This is how we bring it back. It's the frontier mindset. There's always another horizon. This land ain't working out. Got to move on. Press forward, right? Let's go. Let's go. Giddy up. Entrepreneurship is another one. So Americans start more businesses per capita than anywhere else in the world. Reinvention. New career at 50? Sure. Move states and start over? Sure. Go back to school at 60? Yep. Totally normal here. Hope after hardship? Absolutely. Many countries see failure as defining. That's it. They failed. They didn't make it. In America, failure's just another chapter. Failure is one of the things on the road to success, or maybe it's many things that you have to experience on the road to success. That's the way we look at it here. It's never too late. It's never too late, and that is the American way. Even our entertainment reinforces it because we love the underdog. We were talking about that yesterday. Misfits rise, right? When you leave a movie and the underdog did not win or the misfit didn't get it, you're displeased. You're not happy with that ending. Oh, that ending sucked, right? Because that's how we're wired. This trait matters now more than ever because we're in a time when many people feel discouraged, exhausted, and uncertain. And so we have to return to this culture. It's the root of our culture, one of the roots of our culture, and it matters because America has always believed that the story isn't finished and that ordinary people can change everything. Check out this clip from one of my favorites, Tony Robbins.
Dr. Seligman is very famous for doing studies on optimism. And in those studies, you know what he found out? If you give them a test and you ask them to look at something and give you a size measurement of it or to evaluate their own success or failure at a task, what he found was that optimists always see themselves as doing better than they really did. They basically BS themselves. What happens to pessimists, they're 10 times more accurate. What he found out is because the people who are accurate never push themselves because they know it's never going to work anyway. Whereas the optimist sees it better than it is, so they keep doing it. Because they have the illusion they did well, I'll do even better next time. And because of that optimism, they did it more often, and so optimists succeed at a 4 to 5-fold, depending upon the task, result ultimately beyond anything that a pessimist will do, and they're not as accurate. All that's a big way of saying is, if you can develop a psychology of resilience in yourself, You don't have to be optimistic or fake. You can be real. The realness is whatever shows up, you are larger than.
You are larger than anything that can happen to you. I mean, what other choice do we have? Right? I mean, when I listen to him, I think, what other choice do we have? We can be an optimist and sometimes maybe not deliver fully, or we can be negative and stagnant and think there is no way, and that for sure will be the outcome. So it really isn't a choice, and it's your culture. Optimism. Stay tuned. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Hey, listen, go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. Jason's done such a great job here. Feel better, live naturally in 3 simple steps. So 1, you make a $50 plus purchase. You become a lifetime member, meaning you get 15% off of all of our partnered product line. Step 2, you'll get a customized 90-day personal health plan with me. So give me 90 days. That's what I say. Give me 90 days. Let's meet. Let's talk. Book your assessment. You tell me what's going on. We'll come up with a plan, a recommendation. Stick with it for 90 days. Let's see where we go. Shall we? I love it. I love a challenge. So take me up on it. Step 3, you get 24/7 access to ongoing education and support with the Naturally Inspired Health community. I've got protocols. So if you're listening to this and you think, oh man, I've got this inflammation, I don't know where to start. Start here. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. Okay. Look at these protocols. We've got cellular reset, which helps with inflammation. We've got brain power. So if you feel like, oh my gosh, yesterday we covered brain power and brain fog. That, my friends, is a nutrition problem. Okay. You want to know what that is? You're running out of energy. Keep listening to the show, book an assessment, okay? But we got a protocol right here. So you can restore your natural brain power. And of course, you get my coaching. Maybe you've got issues with hair. You're concerned about, your nails, your skin, your hair. That we've got a wonderful protocol for that, for hair growth. Are you dealing with stress? You got to restore your peace, right? Because if we are stuck in fight or flight, we cannot heal. And so it's really important. Your nervous system is the body's alarm system. So imagine someone's breaking into your house. Your alarm starts going off, right? What's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to turn the alarm off at some point, right? You get into your house. You're not just going to keep letting the alarm go off. Call the police. And once you get the person that's breaking in out, then you got to turn the alarm off. Well, once you understand that something's going on in the body, you got to turn the alarm off. So you've got to get out of fight or flight in order to be able to heal. So you got to get your body's alarm system calm down, get into a protocol so that you can start, nurturing your body back to health. So many different protocols available here. Hormones, health. You got issues with menopause. Hit me up, 720-303-8868. It doesn't have to be chaotic. It doesn't have to. Okay, there's some things going on, and you're going to want to hear what they are so that you can walk them back and get the body back into homeostasis. So naturallyinspiredstore.com, book your assessment, take advantage of the protocols, get into the Naturally Inspired community. I look forward to working with you. Let's get on to some stories because there's some big ones in the news today. Oh my gosh. Do you remember when Bobby Kennedy started talking about organ donation? He's like, yeah, we're going to be looking at organ donation. He said it real calmly. He's so calm. He's, when I'm talking about, who do you want to be or whatever, I'd like that kind of calmness. I'm working towards that. I want to be that kind of calm that when I know people are just taking advantage and it's totally predatory and it's disgusting. See, I'm doing it right here. I don't want to do this. I want to go, really? So you're an evil person. Wonderful. We're going to do something about that. I don't know if I'm ever going to get there. Probably not. Probably not. But anyway, do you remember when he was talking about that? About the organ donation stuff and just like how predatory it is? Oh my gosh, you guys, have you been down this rabbit hole? It's disgusting. Again, another awakening moment. Check out this clip I found today.
Organ donation is a huge conversation that needs to be talked about here because people are not understanding that in order to have MAID, you have to say yes to organ donation. Why is that? Also, Why are we doing death by organ donation now? I have doctors and nurses messaging me and emailing me every day being like, Kelsey, you should see, they're like making us do training on this. Like, we don't want to participate, but if we don't, we're going to be fired. I had a whistleblower on the show who was a palliative care nurse up in Kelowna who talked about they would take elderly patients that just had knee surgery and put them in a hospice, and then they would end up getting mated because there was no room for physio for them when they didn't need to die. We have nurses and doctors that are all sitting there saying, like, shut up, whatever, just kill them anyway. And I'm not even making words up. These are actual words. And then Health Canada is partnered with CanMap. So what we found is Health Canada is being funded by the government. Health Canada now is funding CanMap, which is the Canadian Association of MAID, doctor whatevers. And then they are partnered over here with Health Canada with Canadian Blood Services, which is donation and organs. So Health Canada's funding the blood and organs. Organs and blood are donating to CanMap, and now Health Canada is funding a new medical journal that is made by CanMap for just MAID, to promote only MAID to doctors. And it's all coming from the government.
Yeah. Money, 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 money. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So organ donation. Oh, my Lord. Big, big money. Big, big, big money. And I have a funny story about organ. This is a dark topic, right? But I mean, I have a funny story about organ donation. And this is my kid, right? Okay. So when my son turned 16, they ask you, do you want to be an organ donor or whatever? My daughter was only 14 at the time. And she was like, I don't want to be an organ donor. And I looked at her and I was like, oh, really? How come? Like, why don't you want to donate your organs? And she's like, what if a doctor gets me and he knows somebody that needs my organs and he's going to let me die so he can give my organs to these people that he knows? And like, my daughter is not really, like, she's not really like me. You know what I mean? She's not very conspiratorial. She's a very light, bubbly, like sweet, sweet, sweet. And we kind of looked at her like, okay, well, hey, man, that's your choice. If you don't want to do that, then when you turn 16, don't do that, right? Then I go down the organ donor rabbit hole, like just a few years ago. And, well, ain't that something? Because she's right. Yeah, they're incentivized, actually. They're incentivized and it's extremely predatory. And these nurses and people, they will like make calls and like force the family, very enticing, like, oh, he's not going to wake up. He's not. And then we have stories. There's stories in the news. oh, you should just donate his organs. He's never going to wake up, and then wakes up. Right? Because, listen, I'm telling you, everyone has a racket. And, it's a tough way to go through life at this point where you're thinking like, I got to be on my toes for everybody because there's a racket. I'm sorry, but yeah, you do. You do, and you gotta pray for protection. You gotta pray. That's all I can tell you is you gotta pray for protection because yes, everything. There's a racket going on. And, it should not be a surprise to us because, money is people's gods now. And, if there wasn't a bigger display of that than COVID, I don't know what is. A lot of us found out a lot of things about ourselves during COVID because turns out we had bigger values and beliefs, and those were more important to us than following the government edicts and going along to get along. And then some other people found out that they will do anything they're told because of their paycheck or, just doing my job. So, it was a very telling time. And this is what's going on with organ donation. And let me tell you, abortion is the same thing. Abortion is big money. Oh, let me tell you. So, you think organ donation is big money, but abortion is too, because it's all about science. They make fancy creams with stem cells. I mean, like it goes so many different ways. And a lot of that money that's, that funding for those industries comes from government. It's like a racket, Nothing goes there's double dipping in everything. And we only see the outside. Like about abortion, what do we see? Women's rights, my body, my choice. But we know that's not true now, don't we? Because it is your body, but it ain't your choice when it comes to vaccines, but it is your body, your choice when it comes to abortion. You see, all these things are lies. They're just lies because the root of these industries, is money. It's money because money equals control. You can buy your way through all of this stuff. Buy your way out of jail, buy your way into this business, buy your way into this group of people. Buy your way into influencing. Like you can buy your way anywhere. And that's what happens. So I know it's crazy. But like I said, you got to pray. You got to pray. There's another story out about the spike protein, which I found really interesting. We're going to go to break here in just a minute. But I'll tell you, so because we're in the throes of chaos, because we're, going through this digital revolution, great reset, whatever, everybody feels it, right? Like we've had no peace, really. It's been very hard to cultivate peace since COVID. It's been very hard to cultivate peace, like on a bigger level. We have moments of peace, I feel like, individually, but as a whole, as a country, whew, I can't think of we've had very few moments of peace since COVID. But anyway, you want to hear this next story, so stay tuned. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia, and I'm so glad you are here. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations? much of it being imported or processed with additives. Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Welcome back. Okay, this next story I want to share with you is, again, like we're distracted. There's another thing going on all the time, very few moments of peace. And so I feel like a lot of the COVID stuff is getting just, swept away. We don't have time to worry about that. We've got AI on our heels. I mean, for goodness sakes, AI is like manipulating and lying and extorting people. And AI agents are going to be the new way we communicate. We're going to communicate through our agents, not through our human body anymore. Did you guys ever see that movie? I think I've mentioned it on the show before. It's called Surrogates. It's like got Bruce Willis and I can't remember the other one, the actress in it, but they essentially live in these chairs inside their home, and they have goggles, and they live life through their surrogates. That's the name of the movie, I believe, Surrogate. And he snaps out of it and starts living in reality in his human body, and everybody's freaking out. What are you doing out here in your body? That I don't know how old that movie is, but like, hello, this is where we are now. People want to live their life through their AI agents so they don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? If you don't have to do anything, what are you going to do? Well, if we know humans, this is going to get crazy, right? Because turns out we do need things to do. And so it's going to be interesting. Anyway, because we're dealing with all of that, a lot of this COVID stuff is just getting swept away. And there's this doctor who has been in the news quite a bit, recently, and turns out, he's a billionaire, Dr. Patrick Soon-Shiong, and he's like, he's got a lot of money, and he's come forth with some information about cancer and whatnot. He is the owner and publishes the LA Times as well. So I find it, I appreciate the information. But again, I'm a little skeptical because, like, where'd this guy come from? All of a sudden, he's got the cure to cancer. And, he happens to own the LA Times, and he's a billionaire. Again, pay to play, right? Like, you don't get on these platforms and in this stage unless you get some money. You know what I mean? Like, I've known and interviewed people who have wonderful protocols for cancer and whatnot, and like nobody's asking them. You know what I mean? Of course, probably got the patent on this drug and everything. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not judging, but here, listen to this, and then we'll talk.
When you look in tumors, what are you seeing?
There's now evidence that when you actually biopsy the tumors, there's the spike protein inside those tumors.
From COVID?
From COVID.
And then there's what happened with Jim Johnson. In 2022, he'd survived his HPV-related cancer for 7 years, and he'd taken the COVID vaccine. Then his doctor gave him some shocking news. The cancer was back with a vengeance.
First person that they know of on the planet that had HPV metastasize onto his liver.
And they didn't know why.
Had no idea why.
This is why I worry when I'm now seeing 10-year-olds with colon cancer. I had a 13-year-old died in a clinic with pancreatic cancer. I'm seeing a lady who was very close to me who had a thymoma 30 years ago, never had remission for 30 years, got COVID, and now it's got...
Why do you think that is? Right? I don't really care if it's the COVID vaccine or if it's the COVID infection, because both are man-made, right? Both are man-made. They're bioweapons. They're bioweapons. So like all this like, oh, is it the COVID vaccine or is it actually the COVID virus or what? Who cares? Both man-made. One leaked out of a lab, right? And the other one was forced upon everybody. Either way, we live with it now, right? It's out there. And turns out that there's finding this spike protein in people's cancers. It's like kind of like reactivating cancer. Cancer that's been gone in remission for a long time or never existed, but is now turbo cancer in rapid form like they've never seen before. And yeah, and so this guy, you know, he's got a great new drug, I guess. And, you know, of course, we're going to have to fast track it and get it out there because the problem, right? The problem is here and the problem is so dire and so many people are, you know, younger and younger getting cancer. And this guy has the answer, of course. Now, you know, I don't know him from Adam. I'm not judging anybody, but just isn't anybody just really like, you know, interesting pattern, right? Interesting pattern. And of course, you know, biotech and all of that is getting green flag, you know, it's all, you know, green flagged through this administration, right? So let's get it out there, man. Let's get this stuff out there. You created the problem. They created the problem. And now they got the solution, right? Everybody's going to get their cut on it, you know, fast track it. And everybody's happy. Everybody's making money, except for the people are sick and suffering. And those are our friends and our family and our moms and our dads and our kids. So, yeah, excuse me if it isn't just a little hard to swallow, you know? On to the next story, though, right? On to who's in politics now. Oh, who's saying what? Here's another thing you need to be really aware of, because I've been talking to more and more people now that are suffering with the fallout from the GLP-1s, you know, the trickery that goes along with the GLP-1s, making everybody think that their body's broken. You can't lose weight. You need this injection to lose weight. No, you don't. No, you don't. And in fact, you can do more damage than you are good. This story out of actually Australia, but there's lots of stuff going on here in the States with GLP-1s as well. You're just not hearing about it. Listen to this.
There's a health safety alert tonight for the more than 500,000 Australians taking weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Mounjaro. Live now to health editor Jennifer Beshwati. And Jen, the medicines regulator warns they can have a devastating impact on mental health.
Mitch, the TGA says patients are at risk of suicidal thoughts and behaviour linked to these GLP-1 medications. These are the weight loss and diabetes injections, including Ozempic, Mounjaro and Wegovy. Since September, the regulator has received 72 reports of suicidal thoughts, 4 of attempted suicide and 2 deaths. Now, in the statement, patients who are on the drugs are being urged to tell their health professional if they experience new or worsening depression, suicidal thoughts, or any unusual changes in mood or behaviour. Doctors will now have to consider that mental health risk before prescribing the drug. There is help available too at Lifeline.
You know, of course, this doesn't surprise me because, you know, weight is a brain problem. And we look at it as like a body problem, right? Because, oh, we just got to lose weight. Let's exercise it off. Let's starve it off. Let's shoot injections into us to get it off. Like let's staple our stomach to get it off. Let's like all these different ways. Get the weight off. You're not listening. You're not listening. Being overweight is a communication from the body. It's telling you that your brain is not operating properly. And your brain is not operating properly, most likely because of the kind of food you're eating. The kind of food that you've been programmed to eat over the last 30 years. It's not conducive with a healthy brain. It doesn't allow your brain to trigger the hormones that need to be secreted when they need to be secreted. So what am I talking about here? Well, you have a hunger hormone, it's called ghrelin. You have a satiety hormone, it's called leptin. These diet foods, these refined carbohydrates, these sugars, they don't work well with those two hormones. They don't work well at all with leptin. That's why you can eat an entire bag of potato chips and not feel full, because no leptin is being released to make you feel full. But almost darn near impossible to overeat on butter, sticks of butter, right? That's because the brain goes, ugh, now more. So learn how your brain operates, learn what your body is communicating with you, and solve this weight issue forever. Or you can take this synthetic drug that tries to simulate that operation in your body, tries to simulate it by slowing down, paralyzed through venom. It's a venomous drug, which there are many venomous drugs. But this one slows down your stomach's ability to digest food. And that in turn kind of tricks the body into thinking that you're full, so you eat less. But it doesn't really help the problem, because the problem is you've got too much glucose in your bloodstream. And that's creating a problem at the cellular level. And so once again, pharma feeding you a BS solution to a problem that they fully understand, but because the human condition is one that likes convenience and easy, this makes sense. Inject myself, I'll lose weight. Done. Nobody tells you the consequences, which every day seem to getting more and more dire. Pass this along to someone you know, because everybody knows somebody on these drugs. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with your health topic.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448 That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
I really just think, a return to common sense. A lot of this stuff could be fixed, man, with just a return to common sense, right? Work with your body, work with nature. Your body only knows to keep you well and thriving. That's what it's designed to do. And so when you work with it, guess what? The body works. It's about understanding the communication. So I got protocols available for you. I've got ways for you to get into the Naturally Inspired community. All you got to do is go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. When you make your first $50 purchase, as little as $50, that gets you into the community. That gets you 15% off all our retail wellness products, which everybody's buying. Right? Multivitamins. I just had somebody text me today. Shout out to Sarah. She texted me, this laundry detergent's amazing. Like, it brightened my clothes. I'm definitely buying this from now on. Like, yeah, I know. It's good stuff. Like, yeah, it really is. All the cleaning stuff is good stuff. All the skincare is wonderful stuff. Of course, the Cellular Reset is fantastic. The collagen's amazing. Like, you're not going to get a better product anywhere else. This company has poured into the science, poured into the research. This is all they do, right, is make wellness products. So they're not making wellness products and making snack cakes, like some of the big food companies do. They are focused on this. This is serious business for them. They've been around since 1956. And I absolutely love all of their products, and I know you will too. So go to naturallyinspiredstore.com, become a member with us by making a purchase, first purchase of $50. Then you get into the Naturally Inspired community. You get all my coaching, you get the weekly wellness workshops on Tuesday nights, you get my text line where I communicate with you directly, and so much more. We'd be honored to have you, and it's time. It's time to get on the road to optimum wellness. So come and join us, naturallyinspiredstore.com, or text me 720-303-8868. All right, let's get to your health topic, because a lot of you have been talking to me about this. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I really feel tired. So what's your biggest health concern? Oh, I'm so tired. Okay, hear me out, all right? I hear you. You're tired. You're also not sleeping properly, right? So this fatigue, if you've been struggling with it, and I'm talking more than like, I was really tired last week or whatever. I'm talking about this chronic fatigue, the kind of tired that feels like your body is dragging, like you're carrying around an invisible piano everywhere you go. This is very common. You're not alone if this is what you're experiencing. More and more people are walking around simply exhausted, and it's showing up in the same ways. You're all telling me the same things. And then I know that these are signals from your body communicating with you that it's time to change things. So listen, if you're waking up even after, 7 to 9 hours of sleep and you still feel tired, that's a communication. If you're wide awake at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I see you. Especially if you can't fall back asleep, there's a reason for that. If you hit a major wall in the afternoon, like you just crash and you've got to rely on caffeine or sugar to kind of pump yourself back up, that's a communication. If your brain feels foggy or slower than it used to, like you can't focus, if you don't have the energy you used to, even for things that you want to do, right? So like somebody was telling me in an assessment this week that, they're usually really like looking forward to decorating for Christmas. And this year, just feels like a chore. They're so tired. Something's not right. So here's what you need to know. Fatigue is not normal. It's not something that just happens as you get older and you got to put up with it. It is a communication. Your body is signaling imbalance, not failure, but imbalance. So here are some of the most common reasons that fatigue shows up, especially in midlife, especially during menopause, or high stress situations, or even busy seasons of life. Number 1, blood sugar regulation. Dysregulation, I should say. If your energy goes up and down like a roller coaster, blood sugar is usually the culprit. So signs that this may be you: afternoon crashes, irritability, anxiety between meals, cravings for carbohydrates, cravings for sugar, cravings for caffeine, feeling shaky or lightheaded or off if you don't eat, ravenously hungry. When blood sugar spikes, insulin spikes and energy crashes. So this cycle keeps your cells from efficiently using fuel, leaving you feeling chronically exhausted. Here's what helps. And I know you're going to be like, oh my God, does she ever shut up about protein? No, I don't. Because all the research and science says, okay? And I got real live results here. I have hundreds of clients that I have worked with now that have made the switch to higher protein diets. And they're like, oh my gosh, I don't get brain fog anymore. Oh my gosh, I have so much more energy. Oh, my knees don't even bother me anymore. Oh, I can't believe this. I can't believe that. It's like, yeah, why'd you fight it so long? Right? Why did you fight it so long? Protein at every meal, okay? 25 to 45 grams per meal. Also just walking. Okay, walking after you eat or doing some kind of movement like squats after you eat, this assists the body in breaking down the food and putting it to use, putting the fuel to use. Why not? Like move a little bit, right? Get up and move. Don't just go flop on the couch. You're setting yourself. You're not working with your body when you stay sedentary after eating. So you got to push through that hard part, right? When we were talking about in the naturally inspired moment where your brain goes, oh, I don't really want to do that. I just want to lay down on the couch. You got to push through that hard part, because if you lay on the couch, chances are you're going to feel bloated. You're going to feel full. You're going to feel gross. You're going to feel tired and just zapped. Versus you move after you eat. Oh, I feel clear-headed. Oh, I feel like I have more energy. Yeah, because you assisted the body in processing the fuel. Okay? So protein, walking after meals. You got to get rid of the sugar and the processed carbohydrates, the breads, the pastas. I mean, once in a blue moon, I get it. You got to live your life. But this cannot be a weekly occurrence in your life, like pasta on Thursdays, rice on Tuesdays. I have a little bit of toast in the morning. I have a bagel. I have this. Like, what? You can't handle it. You cannot handle it. It's causing the congestion in your body. It's causing the brain fog. It's causing all of this stuff. Good news is you can turn it around like that. Turn it around like that. Poor sleep quality. So, and I'm not talking just about the hours that you get. It's more than that. Okay. Many people sleep, but they don't restore. So if you wake up, right, you're waking up, you have restless sleep, you have difficulty staying asleep. These are all signs, could be, most likely is, especially if insulin resistance is at play. You've got high cortisol. You've got low magnesium. You've got hormone imbalance, of course, because insulin's a hormone and they tend to impact one another. There's a balance to them. It's easy to restore when you make the dietary changes, and you take on supplementation. It's easy to restore, but let me tell you, when one gets out of balance, the whole thing. You're upsetting the whole thing. It's like we are synergistic beings. It's not like you just have this, I just have low estrogen. give myself some estrogen and bingo, bango, boombo. I'm fixed. No, it's the wrong approach. Let's restore the body's natural function, right? Then everything lines up. Hormone imbalance, nervous system dysregulation. This is a big one, and I think people underestimate it, right? I think most people don't realize that they've been living in fight or flight for years. For years. It's become their normal. And getting out of it feels almost like, almost scary to some people, because they've been in fight or flight for so long that trying to let go of fight or flight feels like a little bit, I don't know what to expect here. How do you relax? Really, it's a real thing. So your body can't heal when you're in stress state. So magnesium is wonderful. We have a wonderful magnesium blend that I love taking, especially before bed. You've got to get away from your screens. You've got to get away from them. At the very least, get yourself some blue light glasses, high protein meals, consistency in your sleep routine. I was talking to somebody, Martinique, shout out to Martinique. I was talking to her about, building a bedtime routine and, go a little fancy with it, get a teapot, have a routine, whether it's you shower before you go to bed, you boil your water, you get a nice teapot, you get some nice teas, and you get away from your phone, get a real paper book, cuddle up with a blanket, make this part of your routine that you look forward to at the end of your day. Very, very important, because that facilitates sleep. It tells your body ahead of time, hey, we're getting ready for sleep. This is the routine now. Calm, right? Hormone shifts, especially during menopause and perimenopause, because hormones regulate metabolism. They regulate the hypothalamus, right? The temperature control center. They regulate mood, and they also regulate sleep. They also energy and muscle and mitochondrial function. That's why it's so important. My hormone protocol, right? You cover your basis with the methylated multivitalea. And then you want to make sure you're getting your fats, your omega guard. That's another one, because your brain needs fats to operate. Then the Vivix, the polyphenols, that helps with mitochondrial function. It helps with inflammation. Very important. Collagen is another part of it that helps hydrate the fascia, which keeps you from getting the achiness that happens sometimes when our hormones start to change. So many things. All these protocols are on naturallyinspiredstore.com as well. So low estrogen reduces insulin sensitivity and mitochondrial efficiency. Low progesterone disrupts sleep, and both make fatigue worse. So strength training is so important. Muscle is your friend in the hormone department. I cannot stress that enough. Protein forward eating, the omega-3s, the vitamin D, the B complex, right? The methylated B, lifestyle strategies to calm your nervous system. Mitochondrial weakness, fatigue isn't always mental. A lot of the times it's cellular. You've got to support the mitochondria. Get yourself some Vivix, some cellular reset. Visit naturallyinspiredstore.com for all of these protocols. Fatigue can be reversed. See you tomorrow, everybody. This is Naturally Inspired Radio.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.